Inside a textile factory, a worker approaches a high-speed winding drum to address a developing issue. Instead of stopping the line, he moves closer, entering the machine's hazard zone. Never reach toward an active roller, drum, or material nip point while equipment remains in motion. On a busy delivery street, a forklift extends its forks into a parked truck during unloading. A passing motorcyclist doesn't see the steel forks ahead. Operating forklifts in public or shared traffic areas introduces significant visibility and obstruction challenges. Fork extensions are particularly difficult to detect against pavement surfaces or visually complex backgrounds. Any active loading operation conducted on a public street must incorporate formal traffic control measures. High visibility cones, physical barriers, and designated flaggers must be used to stop or redirect vehicle flow. Industrial equipment and public traffic must never occupy the same operational space at the same time. A construction street. A crane begins lifting a bundled load surrounded by workers. As tension comes on the line, the load shifts sideways. A crane lift must never begin unless the hook is positioned vertically and directly above the load's center of gravity. Proper alignment prevents the development of lateral forces. Any angled rigging introduces horizontal forces as soon as the load clears the ground. To prevent this scenario, the rigger or designated signal person must visually confirm true vertical alignment, commonly referred to as a plumb condition, before authorizing the lift. A clearly defined restricted zone must be established along the load path, and personnel must remain clear of any area between an elevated load and fixed objects such as vehicles, walls, or equipment. In this area, a routine inspection takes place beneath a rain-affected roadway. Saturated soil conditions cause the surrounding ground to start moving unexpectedly. Never enter or stand at the edge of an unprotected trench, cavity, or excavation, particularly following rainfall. Water significantly reduces soil cohesion, increasing the likelihood of sudden ground movement. All excavations exceeding 5 feet, that's about 1.5 meters in depth, must be protected using trench boxes, engineered shoring systems, or properly designed sloping. A qualified, competent person must evaluate soil conditions before work begins. Visual appearance alone is not a reliable indicator of subsurface stability. Inside a warehouse, a forklift brushes a racking upright in a narrow aisle. What looks like a minor contact begins affecting multiple rack sections. Never operate powered industrial equipment while fatigued or distracted. Storage racking systems are engineered primarily for vertical load distribution and are not designed to absorb lateral contact forces. Even minor contact with a load-bearing upright can compromise system alignment. Protective column guards or bollards must be installed at all. Exposed racking uprights. Fatigue management policies must be enforced, and forklift travel speeds must be reduced in narrow aisles to allow sufficient correction time and spatial awareness. On a steam-filled production floor, a worker performs routine duties near a ground-level processing vat containing heated liquid. Condensation creates slick walking surfaces around the unguarded opening. Open ground-level vats present a significant exposure risk. Any loss of balance or positional control near an unguarded opening can lead to loss of controlled separation from the process zone. All open vessels must be fitted with fixed guardrails or protective enclosures. Slip-resistant flooring, effective drainage systems, and high-traction mats are essential controls. Proper footwear must be worn at all times in high-moisture production environments. In a roadside yard, a worker manually guides a heavy engine component while it is suspended on a forklift, but things didn't go as planned. Never stand, walk, or reach within a forklift's vertical load zone. Hydraulic systems are designed for controlled movement, not for maintaining static support conditions near personnel. A safe separation distance must always be maintained from elevated loads. Taglines or extended positioning tools should be used for alignment tasks. If work must occur nearby, loads must be mechanically supported using approved blocking or support stands. A routine gate adjustment goes wrong when a main support is disengaged, allowing the heavy structure to shift beyond its designed operating range. Large gates and hinged structures store substantial potential energy. When support systems are altered, movement can occur immediately and without controlled resistance. Temporary support stands, safety straps, or bracing systems must be installed before loosening hinges or fasteners. Secondary retention devices must always be used to prevent unintended movement if primary components lose effectiveness. Outside an industrial facility, a forklift travels with its mast raised too high. The elevated load shifts the load balance, reducing stability as it moves. Transporting loads at elevated heights significantly reduces forklift stability. As load height increases, the margin for corrective adjustment decreases. Forklift operators must follow the travel low principle, keeping loads only inches above the ground during movement. Pedestrian rest zones must be physically separated from active material handling routes. On a rain-soaked loading dock, a worker rides the front of a moving forklift, placing themselves directly within a dangerous clearance zone. Never ride on forklift forks, masts, or exterior surfaces. Forklifts are designed exclusively for material handling and do not provide protection for riders. A strict exclusion zone must be enforced around operating forklifts. Pedestrians may only approach once the machine is fully stopped, controls are neutralized, and the operator provides a clear signal indicating safe access. In an active aggregate yard, a worker stands in the travel path of a moving wheel loader. With the bucket raised, the operator's forward view is severely limited. Wheel loaders have inherent forward visibility limitations caused by the bucket and lift arms. When material is carried, the operator's view of the travel path can be obstructed for several meters, creating a visibility zone where ground personnel may not be easily detected from the cab. To prevent this, ground workers must treat equipment travel paths as restricted areas unless clear eye contact has been established with the operator. Operators should keep the bucket as low as practical during travel to improve visibility. If forward visibility is obstructed, the loader should be operated in reverse or guided by a trained spotter. In this material handling area, a worker manually releases a dump truck's tailgate. As the truck bed begins to elevate, internal load forces shift unpredictably. Never remain within the discharge area of a raised dump bed. Once elevation begins, load behavior becomes variable and difficult to predict. Tailgate release mechanisms should be operated from within the cab whenever possible. Manual releases must be completed before raising the bed. In a stone yard, a worker steps onto a stacked granite block to attach rigging. The block rests unevenly, and the additional weight alters how the stack is supported. Never assume stacked materials can support added weight simply because they appear solid. This creates a hidden stability issue where uneven contact points or surface debris may allow movement when pressure is applied. You must confirm that material stacks are level, secured, and approved for access before approaching. Always use ladders or work platforms instead of standing on stacked materials, as visible solidity does not guarantee consistent support.